Most of us grew up with Mr. Potato Head, but most of us remember this version of Mr. Potato Head. How did Mr. Potato Head go from this humble kid that could turn any vegetable into a Mr. Funny Face to that fun-loving, sassy little guy we all remember from Toy Story? Hey friends, welcome back to the Encyclopedia Ange channel, where curiosity is curated. Mr. Potato Head had an adventurous journey from a dangerous and sometimes moldy toy to the Mr. Potato Head we know today. He originally cost a whopping 98 cents and required that you provide your own potato. You know, the kind you'd grab from the kitchen. Maybe even a carrot if you're feeling a little fancy. In fact, my mom tells me that when she was a kid, she had the original Mr. Potato Head. And it drove my grandma crazy because she was always needing to replace that dang potato. She became a potato thief just to be able to play with her toy. She'd have to secretly steal potatoes to keep on playing, because once you punctured it with one of those sharp pins of the facial features, the potato would start to shrivel and mold real quickly. Grandma found it to be a massive waste of food. Well, in 1949, a guy named George Lerner had this crazy idea for a funny face kit. Body parts that you could poke into any vegetable to make it silly. But guess what? The idea almost didn't take off. Why? Well, in the late 1940s, people were still really conscious about food waste. After World War II, folks didn't want to throw away their precious vegetables just for a toy. But he didn't give up, and in 1951, he finally convinced the cereal company to give away these face kits as prizes for their boxes of cereal. And that's when Hasbro came in. They saw the potential, and by 1952, they bought the rights to Mr. Potato Head and revamped it. The game changer? The first ever TV commercial for a toy. This one. Yep, Mr. Potato Head was the very first toy to be advertised on television. And just like that, kids everywhere were begging their parents to buy them one. At first, the kit didn't even come with a plastic potato. Instead, you could use your own real veggies, or if you were out of luck, there was a styrofoam head that you could stick the body parts onto. I mean, it was kind of a weird vibe, but it worked. A year later, Mr. Potato Head is ready to settle down and get married to Mrs. Potato Head. They honeymooned in Idaho, which of course is the potato state, so very fitting. Soon they had a couple kids. They named them Yam and Spud, and they have many adventures, including going to the moon on a cucumber rocket. But things weren't smooth sailing yet. In the 1960s, Hasbro realized they had a problem. The sharp pins and the moldy produce were causing some serious safety issues for kids. So in 1964, Hasbro took action and introduced the first plastic potato body. This was a game changer for safety. The first run of their plastic potato had a separate head and body, but the child safety laws became even more strict in the 70s, and Hasbro came up with this little number. This toy that had endless options all of a sudden offered very specific holes for very specific parts of the body, meaning no more sticking a set of eyes where his nose went. He also didn't have any arms for some reason, so this essentially made him this really boring puzzle. Then, in the 1980s, the fun was back. Mr. Potato Head got bendable arms, a lower compartment in his rear end for storage, and the same hole punched into all the parts of his body so you can mix and match what he looked like, meaning children can now once again put an eye in the armpit. Total game changer. With his newfound flexibility, Mr. Potato Head gets political and runs for mayor in Boise, Idaho in 1985. 2 years later, he quit smoking his pipe and publicly quit smoking for good. In the 90s, the Potato Head family went full throttle into pop culture. They even sponsored a League of Women Voters campaign. But the biggest moment was in 1995 when Toy Story hit the big screen and Mr. Potato Head became a pop culture legend. He's been in every Toy Story movie since. Since then, the Potato Heads have worn a number of costumes, including Darth Tater, the Wizard of Oz, Iron Spud, Pirate Tater, a princess, and Mickey, Minnie, and Goofy. The Potato Head outfits are endless, and their legacy is, well, a little extra, just like them. And that's a wrap on the roller coaster journey of Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. From a moldy mess to a toy box icon, this guy's been through a lot. And I'm sure there's probably a lot more in store for him too. Do you have a potato head I missed? Do you have a topic you'd like me to cover? Drop a comment below and let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, where we'll dive into even more fun facts and questionable histories.